Welcome back to Statistics. MHP students, you are now entering the descriptive statistics unit. So this is the prerequisite unit right before we get into our actual stats coursework. So this is maybe review, maybe not review, but before we get into any of that, I want to review the bell work using the syllabus. I want to review how to go onto Math Excel. I know I sort of explained it in the last video, but now I'm going to go into detail, and I'm also going to review the Google Classroom stuff. I'm not going to do any handouts for you guys, obviously, because we're not in class. And then I want to go through our actual lesson, the objective and essential question, the 2.1 through 4 basic stats. We're going to try to do 4 lessons into one, but I'm going to summarize it in a compact form, so it's not as much writing and stuff. And that doesn't mean you're going to have 4 homework assignments. I'm summarizing it all and compacting it all in one homework assignment on Math Excel. So this is your first day where you will have actual Math Excel homework to complete. Okay, no homework quizzes this week. I want to take a kind of chill, but next week we're going to get into our first actual unit of statistics called probability, and then we will have actual homework quizzes. Okay, but this week, no homework quizzes. It's actually going to be very basic this week. Yeah, basic, very basic. And we're going to just probably do 3 lessons, and I don't even think we have a quiz this week. So just take a chill pill because we be cruising. Let's get started. I only have a couple questions here to review your syllabus. If you have yet to do your syllabus, again, make sure to go to Google Classroom, find the syllabus acknowledgement form right next to it. It's underneath the classwork. I'll show you right now. So this is your statistics Google Classroom. Here's the code. If you have yet to get on it, get on it. Okay, please, please, please. This is your classwork. If you go to classwork, you'll see a variety of things. The very first thing that you'll see is the actual online syllabus. If you click this, not only will it give you the syllabus, but it'll also give you the student acknowledgement form. This form needs to be completed. Only about a third of you completed it, which really is scary. And you guys are a small class, so that means a good majority of you still have yet to communicate to me at all and have yet to fill this out. But this form is due Wednesday, 8/5 by 4 p.m. Okay? So make sure you fill that out. Let's go through some of these questions. First of all, how much are homework quizzes worth? Quizzes and tests. Homework quizzes, they are worth 10 points. Okay? Very, very small percentage, but worth 10 points. Quizzes, they are worth 50 points. Tests, they are worth 100 points. Right? Do you grade? Do I grade the individual homework assignments on Math Excel? No, but sort of. So, no, I don't actually grade the individual score and then put that on Synergy. So if, let's just say on a Math Excel assignment, even the assignment today that you're about to get on Math Excel tonight, when we get registered for it, so let's just say you get an 80% on that. I'm not going to take that 80% and put it into Synergy. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put that grade into the gradebook. But what I will do is average the Math Excel homework assignments for the week. I'll average them all together, and let's just say your average is 80%. Then for week 1 Math Excel homework participation, that assignment into Synergy, you'll see an assignment that in Synergy that literally says Math Excel week 1 homework participation. That I will round up to 100. So if you got an average of all your scores for the week at 80%, that rounds up to 100. If you got, let's just say, an average of 30% or 60%, that rounds to about 50%. So you get 5 out of 10 or 50% on that gradebook. And if your average is around 0%, then you'll get a 0 for the gradebook. So I hope that participation makes sense. That participation grading makes sense. I don't individually put the grades inside the gradebook, but what I do is average them up, all the Math Excel homework assignments up, and then whatever that average rounds to, either 10, 5, or 0%, I put that into Synergy. So make sure you understand the difference. So does that mean you shouldn't do homework? Well, You don't have to because I'm not individually grading it, but I am definitely telling you you need to because you won't survive this class unless you do the actual homework on Math Excel, period. Okay, what is my number one expectation for every student? So let's just jump down there. It's very clear. Ask questions. If you do not know something, you need to email me right away. You need to email me. You need to go on the Google Meet link. You need to ask questions on the check-in form, the Google check-in form on Google Classroom. Just to show you where it is once more, it's right here. First of all, this is also the student acknowledgement form. I just remembered that. But you go to classwork, scroll all the way down, you go to virtual office hours, and then right here is the actual check-in form. Okay, that is the check-in form. It actually looks like this. You can fill this out. And one of these questions, it actually asks you, do you have any questions? So I literally ask you to ask me, do you have any questions? If you don't, well then you can say, no, I don't. But if you do, that is a perfect time to ask. I hope you understand that. There's a lot more about the syllabus that I could touch on, but I'm not going to for the sake of time. Feel free, please, feel free to ask me anything, and I will answer it right away. Again, let's review how to get on Google Classroom. We just did syllabus review, so let's review Google Classroom, and then we're going to go and do Math Excel. So log into your MHPrep email account, then you're going to go to Applications menu. Right here, that's the Applications menu. You're going to click on Classroom, and then you're going to say Join Class. And that Join Class is going to be this code. You're going to type in that code, peruse the site. Awesome. Okay, make sure you do that. Once there, you're going to see this. You're going to see this. And there's a couple things you need to do. So first of all, you'll see you have two things that are due this week, the focus notes and what is your Math Excel. So let's go there. The two things are due. First of all, you'll see that this is due. Okay? You'll see that this is due this week. And I think I'm only going to have about, right here, one assignment, one lesson actually that I'm going to ask you to take pictures on and send to me and upload here. That's the only lesson, set notation and Venn diagrams that I'll have you take pictures on and upload into a Google Classroom here. So this is a focus notes rubric. I will follow the rubric, but I'll follow it loosely. And here's basically just a regular templates, diagrams, Cornell note diagrams, templates, and everything that you can use to help you understand what are Cornell notes. But these are the main things. At the end of every lesson, or mostly at the end of every lesson, I will have what we call a summary or reflection that you will have to type, or not type, but write into your notes and make sure you have that. So questions, content, summary, name, date, blah, blah, blah. If you have any questions on that, let me know. Also, you'll have your Math Excel login. So those of you who are new, and most of you are new, please just click on this. This, you will basically just write your username and password for your Math Excel login. What is that? We're going to do it right now. Okay, so if you are not on the Google Meet link, or if you're watching this video before 1:30 p.m., or 2:30 p.m., if it's somewhere around that time, or before 1:30, on Monday, 8/3, then I encourage you to hop into the Google Meet link. If you have no idea what that is, just go over here, virtual office hours, check-ins. It's this link right here. Go ahead and hop into that, and then you will see me basically on Monday, every day, Monday through Thursday at least, 1:30 to 2:30. And there, at least on Monday, 8/3, I will be talking about how to get registered on Math Excel. This is an extremely important thing. You need to get registered for Math Excel like now, pronto. Like yesterday, we needed to be registered for Math Excel. Okay? So make sure you do that. Let's get started. I'm going to roughly explain it, the registration process for Math Excel. This is the summary page, okay? Yeah, so this is the summary page. But really, if you want the detailed instructions, go to your syllabus. So for me, I am actually going to go to the syllabus. The syllabus is down here. I'm going to click on that because the syllabus has way more detailed instructions. I'm telling you, they're way more detailed than what I have on this slide. So let me scroll down. So you see right here, you see Math Excel for school. Here are the login instructions. Perfect. So here are the login instructions. First things first, no matter what, who you are, you're going to go to mathexcelforschool.com. It should look something like this. That's the first thing you're going to do. If you're a completely brand new student to me, completely brand new, which most of you are, then that means you are just going to click on register here for student. I think there are maybe 2 of you in the whole class that have had me before in the past. Like last year you had me as a teacher. You took stats with me, or you took Algebra 2.1 or Algebra 2.2 with me, and you registered for a whole new account. If that's you, you don't need to register for this, okay? You will follow along the lines of number 3. So your account hasn't expired, and so you don't need to go through step 2. You don't need an access code. You just need to go through the course ID. So what you need to do then, if you've had me before in the past, all you need to do is just click on sign in like normal. And if you don't remember your username or password, I remember it. Okay, I have it documented, so I can send that to you. So just let me know. And then you will click on your little person at the top, which should look like this. So this is your little person, and then you'll just click on enroll course. So if this was you, this is Algebra 2.1, but it still works. This is you, you would just click on this and enroll a new course, and then this course ID right here, whatever asks you, that thing, you're going to type in this for number 3. That's if you aren't new. Do you understand? So if you aren't a new student, and if you had me before in the past, and your account isn't expired, which I'm telling you your account will not be expired, you're going to just sign in like normal, make sure you enroll in a new class, enroll in a new course, and you're going to go down here and type in this right here, or if you want to just copy and paste, go to your syllabus, go down all the way to C, login instructions, and you're just going to copy and paste that blue code. That's what you're going to do. Okay? Perfect. Now, if you are new, now this is for you. Now, if you are new, you will need to register completely. So I'm going to kind of try to do step-by-step instructions for you. So if you don't show up on the Google Meets, you can at least watch this video and you know exactly what to do. Okay, so you're going to go to Math Excel. You're going to click on Student Register. There's a couple things you need. First of all, you need your school email address. It's the school email address that you logged into Google Classroom for. So whatever your MH Prep email address is, make sure you use that and only that. Okay? Even the syllabus says that. Make sure you use your school email, firstname.lastname at mhprep.com. So make sure you do that. Second thing is you need an access code. This is not the access code, but it will look something like this. Okay? I need to send that to you. So as soon as you are ready and you need the access code, I will send you the access code via email. If you're on Google Meets or if you're watching this before Monday at 1:30 p.m., then go ahead and hop onto the Google Meets link on Monday, 1:30 p.m., and so that way you can tell me, hey, I need the code, and I can email you the code right then and there. Okay? So that way you can get onto Math Excel. I hope that's clear. And I'll give you this access code. The access code is different than the course ID. The course ID is what's in the syllabus. The access code is different. I need to send that to you. Every student has a different access code, but every student has the same course ID because it's for the class. So you're going to go ahead and click on register if you're new. More than likely, you will not have what we call a Pearson account, but I'll get to that. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy this course ID. So copy that. It's the exact same thing here. If you want to type this in for number 3, go ahead and do that. And you're just going to paste. You're going to hit continue. Now, it's going to say, this is your course. That's me, okay, taught by me, all right? So this is me. This is the course you need to get in to do homework, quizzes, and tests, and so forth, all right? So most of the time, you're just going to create a whole new Pearson account. All right, don't sign in with your Pearson account because most of you are new. You have no idea what that is, so just create a new one. And then just start going through it. This is your school email address. Go ahead and type in a username. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. It can be colton.carlson. It can be like mydogrocks.com. I don't know. It could be whatever. And then when you get to password, I strongly encourage you, don't use this suggested password because, again, remember, you need to send me the actual password and the username. So remember this. Remember down here, you need to send me your username and password. If you use a random, just Google generated suggested password, you may not remember or may not be able to find it. And how are you to give me the correct password if that's the case? Okay. So I strongly encourage you not to do that. The password that I usually tell students to do is just an easy one, Phantoms123. This is very simple. Okay, capital P and then Phantoms123. It usually works all the time. So that's the password I usually tell students to do, and then you can do whatever you want for your username. Re-enter the password, do your first name, do your last name, make sure it's capital letters, and then security question, blah, blah, blah. You're going to agree, and then you're going to click on one of these applies to me. Obviously, you're a high school student, so you're going to click on this, and then create account. Now, after that, after you fill all that out, once you create an account, it's going to ask you it's going to look and show you this page again. It's going to ask you for your course ID again. So you're going to go ahead and just paste that thing in. Okay, and it's going to look something like this. Where did I get this course ID? 2 places, right here. Again, you can just copy this from the syllabus, or you can just write this down, okay, and just put that into MathXL when you're enrolling into the course, okay? And then that's us, and then you would click on Enroll. Once you are in MathXL, I will be happy for one, because I need you guys to get on MathXL pronto. But once you're in MathXL, just give me 1 second. Oh my gosh. Lame. So at the time of making this video, 0 of you are in here, which is totally understandable. But right now, this is what you'll see. So when you get into statistics, as soon as you enroll, you'll see something like this, okay? And they'll have all these assignments posted. But you should see statistics, period 4, fall 2020, quarter 1. What you really will see when you go into your homework and tests is this. You'll see all these assignments, just green check mark. You'll see, first of all, the MathXL orientation. You need to complete the MathXL orientation by 100% by this Friday, at 100% by this Friday at 4 p.m. Okay, you need to complete it. I will actually be putting it in 4 grade, the actual grade, whatever you get there. Next thing you need to do, and we'll do this during this lesson, is the pretest. Now, if you look on Google Classroom, if you're already on Google Classroom and you see that the suggested template says that we're not going to do the pretest until tomorrow, that's fine. You can wait until Tuesday, 8/4, to do the pretest. That's perfectly fine. That's my suggested template here. But if you want to get a head start, you can do the pretest. As long as you do the pretest before Friday by 4 p.m., that's perfectly fine. You won't see any of this, okay? You won't see any of those. But what you will see is this, and this is today's assignment, 2.1 through 4, basic stats. Okay, that's what you will see. So I'm going to kind of go through it a little bit and show you sort of what you can expect to see on MathXL when you're doing homework. Before I do that though, notice that there will be an honors. If you are interested in honors, remember, you can always just sign up. So up here, the honors contract, this is the classwork page on Google Classroom. You can follow the instructions. This is the honors contract. Feel free to have your parent or guardian email me and you can get onto honors. So if you are interested in honors, then you will be doing the honors assignments. If you're not interested in honors, don't do the honors assignments. Just do this one. If you are interested in honors, you don't need to do both. Okay, don't feel like you need to do both. You just need to do the one that says honors. Is that clear? Perfect. So this is all the assignments you need to do this week. This one, and this one. And again, I don't put the individual assignment grades into the gradebook. What I do rather is I average them. And if that average is close to either 10, 5, or 0%, that is the percentage. That's the number of points I put into Synergy. Okay? So let's actually look at this assignment. I want to show you what this assignment looks like. And so you're not confused at all. So this is what you'll see when you pull up the assignments. Okay, you'll see a variety of different things. And I told you we're going to try to get through 4 lessons in this one video. So I would encourage you, if you're already on MathXL, don't start working through the problems. You can if you want, but I would highly encourage you to watch this video first, or at least kind of fast forward through this video first, and then go back to MathXL and start working on the assignment. So you see 2.4, 2.3, 2.2, and 2.1. I have questions for each. What I have listed here, because I just redid this class last year, so what I have done here is, first of all, a video. So this is a video attached to it. Do you have to watch the video? No. You have my videos. But it does help you. It does help you go through the video and actually teach you certain things. So again, if you just don't like me at all, that's fine. Watch these videos. If you don't like my teaching, go to these. Now, granted, on my videos, I'm trying to get through a lot in a specific and small amount of time. I won't cover literally every single thing here. But what these videos do is they actually do cover a good majority of what you're being assessed on the homework. So I'm just being honest here, my videos are more of like a summary of what you're supposed to know. But when you get to MathXL, these videos are more specific to what you're supposed to know. So if you have the time, by all means, go through these videos and learn about them. You do need to click on it, but you don't need to watch it. You can just exit out. And I also have the PowerPoint here. The PowerPoint here is actually just the PowerPoint for the lesson. You just basically, it downloads and then you can click on that. You don't have to do that. You can just exit out right away. But basically, it's a PowerPoint going through 2.1. The reason why I do that is really, honestly, for your convenience. It's not my PowerPoint, but it's the textbook's PowerPoint. Okay? I hope that's clear. Let's click on the first one. And I'll show you some learning aids that you could utilize when you're actually doing homework tonight. So we're going to go through this, obviously, how to do this, what is the class width, what are the midpoints, the boundaries, and so forth. Okay? And again, remember, my actual PowerPoint is not as probably detailed as the video here. But you can always click on the assigned media and actually go through the videos and have them help you. By all means, do that. I actually encourage you to do that. Another question another avenue of help that you could do is help me solve this. So help me solve this actually takes your exact question, and as you go through it, it actually asks you what is the class width. Okay, so you see that's 50 to 4. Let's just say you put 5. Okay, so 50 to 4, and you can check the answer, and you're right. Even though it's 54 minus 50, that's 4. It doesn't matter because you're actually counting, and we'll get into this. But 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, so it's 5. So the class width is 5. Now, and then it'll actually kind of go through what's the midpoint. You take the lower class, upper class, divide by 2. And so what's the midpoint of this? Well, if you take 50 plus 54, that's 104. Divide by 2, that's actually 52. So that means your midpoint is 52. So this is help me solve this, and it's actually really nice, but the problem is when you exit out, it will give you a whole new example. So now they change the example on you, and you have to solve it out yourself. So in this case, it's 3, and then they want to find the midpoint, and so you would again look at, add 40 plus 42. That's going to be 82, and so this is actually 41. That's your midpoint, and you would actually go through all of them. Just add those two, divide by 2, add those two, divide by 2, and so forth. Another type of help that you can utilize is what we call view an example. This view an example is what most students actually use, only because it doesn't get rid of their question. It just takes them through a similar example and kind of guides them through, and they don't need to actually type stuff in here. Okay? So this can be abused. I've seen so many students actually abuse view an example, which is really unfortunate. Okay? And so try not to abuse it too much. You do have a textbook. StatCrunch is not really needed here, and then, of course, calculator and so forth. The thing I really want to pinpoint is this. Ask my instructor. Let's just say in the middle of the night, you don't understand, or maybe it's 7 o'clock at night, you don't understand a question. You can actually click on this, and when you click on this, it gives you the kind of like an email template with my email. You can type in like, hey, I don't understand, I hate this, can you help? Hit send, and it will actually send to my email the exact question you're working on. And so then I can maybe make a short video. I can write on the screen saying this is your problem, or this is what you don't understand, so this is what you need to understand. This is the correct solution, blah, 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 blah. And I can send that back to you via email, and then you can get it and be like, oh, I didn't know I didn't understand that. So thank you. I now understand, and now you can get the correct answer. Everyone's happy, yada, yada, yada. So that is literally your homework assignment, and I'm expecting it to be done, again, by Friday at 4 p.m. Okay? So I ran through that fast. That's basically MathXL. It is an amazing tool. I hope you utilize it to the best of your ability. All these things are due on Friday by 4 p.m., as well as your username and password, your MathXL username and password. Make sure you also put that in, upload that, type that in by Friday at 4 p.m. I even have it on the screen here back at my PowerPoint. Okay, you must also submit your MathXL login on Google Classroom by Friday, okay, at 4 p.m. Do you understand? I hope so. I hope so. All right. That is MathXL. Again, if you have any other questions at all, just hop on the Google Meet link during the indicated times, 1:30 to 2:30. You should be on MathXL no later than Tuesday. If you're not on MathXL no later than Tuesday, that's kind of a problem. You need to get on MathXL very, very soon. I love this. There are lies, there are damn lies, and then there are statistics. So statistics is one of those things where it's just very, very interpretive. Let's just say that. So I'm going to teach you what that means when we interpret stats. We're going to go through the very, very basic level stats. Honestly, most of you probably learned this in your junior high or maybe even grade school. And if not, that's okay. I'm going to review it really, really fast. And then the next day, we're going to go to the pretest. And then the next day, it's going to be another lesson, measures of variation. And the next day, set notation. So we have a total of 3 lessons that you need to be paying attention towards. Okay? They will be on some sort of test. All right. This is your objective. This is your essential question. How do I calculate measures of central tendency and complete frequency charts? That's really what we're going to be going through today. I encourage you to be writing down your notes. Okay? It's disrespectful for me just to spend all this time and have you not actually pay attention. So let's get started. Pause the video if you needed to. Go back to the essential question. Start your Cornell notes. This is what we're doing. Basic stats 2.1. What are frequency charts? What are frequency charts? Let's get into it. A frequency distribution is a table or chart that shows classes or intervals of data entries with a count of the number of entries in each class. Now that count is what we call a frequency, or F. You'll see that right here. Of a class is a number of data entries in the class. So a frequency F of a class is the number of data entries in the class. So let's just say this class is right here, 1 through 5, this data set, 1 through 5. I have a data set between 1 and 30, okay? So I go from 1 and 30. Let's just say I have that, right? So my data set spans from 1 to 30. That's what it means. And I break them in between little segments, little classes, like 1 to 5, 6 to 10, so forth. And let's just say within that class, there's 5 different data values. Within this class, 6 to 10, there's 8 different data values. Within this class, 11 to 15, there's 6 different data values, and so forth. So how many classes are there? Let's ask that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 classes, and that's what we're going to write. 6 classes. What are the class widths? Again, if you remember from when we were going on Math Excel, if you look at 1 through 5 and you're like, oh, it's 5, think again. Think. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So there's 5 here. Right? So that means our class width will be 5. But then you look at 6, and you may be thinking, well, that's 4. Again, that's why I say think again. Okay? Because this right here, it's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 to 15. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So what is our class width? It is 5. What's the midpoints? We add them up. So let's just take 6 and 10 together. So we add 6 plus 10, and then we divide by 2. So this becomes 16 all over 2, so this is 8. So my midpoint here is 8, okay? My midpoint for this one is actually 3, okay, because 1 plus 5 divided by 2 is 6 divided by 2, which is 3. What's the next one underneath? 11 to 15. Okay, 11 to 15 is 13. The next one will be 18. The next one will be, do you see a pattern here? There's a difference between 5 on each. So the next one will be 23, and the next one will be 28. Okay, because the class widths are 5, there will be a difference of 5 on the midpoints. Now, what are the frequencies? These are easy. I just go all the way down. So 5, there's 8, there is 6, 8 again, 5, and 4. Okay? That's in order. Boom, 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 boom. What are the boundaries? The boundaries are really this level right here. These are the boundaries. So the boundaries are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. Those are the boundaries. Okay? Sometimes Math Excel may ask you to maybe do the lower limit or the lower boundary here. So the lower boundary are these, the upper boundaries are these. So really what I'm saying is these are the upper boundaries. Okay? But sometimes they may just ask for the upper boundaries. So if they ask for the upper boundaries, that's where you're going to put. If they ask for the lower boundaries, you're going to do 1, 6, 11, 16, 21, 26, and so forth. Okay? So that is just the basics of frequency charts. When I actually tally data, what do I get? Because this is tallying. Frequencies are tallying. If something is occurring frequently, you're tallying it up. So you're going to have something like this. Now, I don't expect you to write down all of this. I just basically expect you to essentially maybe write down this chart. You don't need to write down all the numbers, though. Okay? Now, the cool thing is that this is actually in order. All right? Now, not all of them are in order. So when they ask you the IQ, it actually gives you an IQ of 6th graders. They break up these things from 78 to 86. Now, sometimes you may have to actually make these classes yourself. I'm not going to go through that. But again, Math Excel will help you and basically help you go through that. I'm not going to go through how to break up your classes. Math Excel will help you do that. what I want to know is what's the frequency, the F, the frequency. What is the tally for each? So how many students are in 78, the class of 78 to 86? So let's go. So 80 is between, that's 1. I like crossing them off because that kind of helps me. So feel free to cross them off if you need to. So that's 1. This is 2, 3, 4. And 87 is past 86, so that means I have 4. You see what I'm doing? What about 87? So 87 here, I'm going to actually do a different color. Let's do this. So 87 to 95. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 98 is past 95, so there's only 8 here. You see how this works? I'll do one more and then you can do the rest. How about that? So the next class is 96 to 104. So that's between 96 to 104. That's 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 6. And 105 is past 104. So I had 6 in this class. So go ahead and see if you can pause the video right now. Pause the video and see if you can have, I'll do purple here for the rest, for MHP. See if you can actually get the correct frequencies for each class. Go ahead and pause. All right, welcome back. These are my actual answers here. So I have 8 for that class, 8 for that class, I have 7 for that class, and 9 for that class. If you got that, good job. All right, it's really just basically plucking them out. That's all it is. That's the basic stats for frequency charts. Okay? All right, let's move on here. Whoops. Cumulative frequency charts. These are similar, but they're sort of different. So I'm gonna show you why they're similar, and then I'm gonna show you how they are different. But cumulative frequency charts, what are they? Well, first of all, it'll basically tell you this. It'll tell you this is your data, and then you need to kind of frequently accumulate the data values into these classes. The problem with that is it's sort of confusing because, first of all, you need, before doing any of that, you actually need to calculate your overall frequency, your normal frequency. Okay? So your actual F. What is your regular frequency? Before you do anything about cumulative frequency, you need to know what your regular frequency is. All right. What is your regular frequency for the class of 100 to 149? Now this one is not in order. Okay, so I'll do the first couple ones with you and then you can finish out the rest. So this one's not in order, but you should find 1. There's 1 between 100 and 149 in this one. Okay, so there's 1. Go ahead and cross them off. Cross them off as well. Now there should be 4 between 150 to 199. So let's try to find that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the numbers between 150 to 199. So 4. Okay? Go ahead and pause the video and try to find the rest. All right, welcome back. So this is the rest in red. So you should have 1 for that class, 2, 2, 2 for the remaining classes. So now, how do I do cumulative frequencies? How do I do cumulative frequencies? It's actually very simple. The first thing you're going to do is just drag that over. So this is actually 1. And they're going to be kind of added to each other over and over and over again. So then, for this class, what's the cumulative frequency? I literally just add 1 plus 4, and that gives me 5. It's that simple. 1 plus 4 gives you 5. And then what you do is, now that you got that, you really just add them all together. So you can now add these together, okay? Or you can add all of them together. So really, you can add 1 plus 4 plus 1 is 6. Or you can now add 1 plus 5 equals 6. Okay, you see how that works? Pretty cool. And now what you can do is just add these two together. So 6 plus 2, this will be 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. So my cumulative frequency is 1, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12. How did I do that? Recap. You drag the 1 over, that's 1, and then you just add them down. So 1 plus 4 is 5. 1 plus 4 plus 1 is 6. 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 2 is 8. 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 is 10. 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 12. Okay, that's the frequency chart, and that's also the cumulative frequency. I hope that wasn't too confusing. If not, just kind of go back over it or go to the Math Excel and they will actually give you perhaps a better video, maybe one that makes sense. How do they relate to histograms? It's actually very simple. So you're going to have a histogram here. Now notice that down here, the book costs here, these are the textbooks. These are actually your classes. I mean your frequency chart classes. Again, they're not in order, which is sort of frustrating. They're going to ask you, though, how many are in this interval, this class. Now, yes, can you count like we normally did? Sure. Definitely count like you normally did. Or you can go to this chart, and this chart will actually tell you how many are in there. So between this interval, how many? Well, clearly 0. How many are in for the next class? This class right here, 20 to 29.99. Well, you see that there's 6, and so forth. The next one should be 5. The next one should be 2. And if you want to pause the video, you can to see if you can get the next one. But they are, pause if you need to, they are 3 and then 4. So those are my actual frequencies. And I just get them by looking. So this one's 6, that one's 5, this one's 2, that one's 3 right here, because that's 3, and this one is 4. Okay? Great. So that's how you basically relate to histograms. Again, I'm not going to go through everything here, but I'm going to go through one more histogram. Like I said, I'm not going to go through everything. All right, so whatever I don't cover, just use Math Excel. It's impossible for me to cover literally everything in one lesson. They're going to give you a histogram, then they're going to ask a couple things. Determine the number of classes. Okay, estimate the frequency of the class with the least frequency. Estimate the frequency of the class with the greatest frequency, and then determine the class width. I think we can do this. All right. Ready? So, determine the number of classes. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 classes. Pretty easy enough, right? Simple. The least frequency is about what? What is the frequency of the class with the least frequency? Okay, the frequency of the class with the least frequency. Well, this is the least frequency, and to determine that frequency, well, this looks probably about like 20, 25. So the least frequency is about probably 25. Okay, if that's 50, that's 100, so that's probably half of 50, which is 25. What's the greatest frequency? Well, the greatest frequency is this. And that looks really, really close to 300. So I'm maybe thinking like 290, perhaps. On Math Excel, you can actually blow these up, so it's way easier for you on Math Excel to actually figure it out. Now, what's the class width? The class width, I look at this and I see 23 to 33 to 43 to 53 and so forth. So it looks like they differ between 10. So the class width looks like it's 10. All right? Easy enough? Let's erase. So that was 2.1. Now we're going to get into 2.2. So really 2.2 is just going over more graphs and displays. And we're going to start with what we call the stem and leaf plot. The stem and leaf plot is actually a really fun plot. It's very simple, actually. So they're going to say, and it's really just A, B, C, or D on Math Excel. You really just have to select the correct one. So use a stem and leaf plot to display the data. The data represents the amount of hours employees at a certain company spend driving to and from work in any given month. So it's not in order. Now this little blue thing here is something that you can actually click and copy the data. It will actually allow you to click on that in Math Excel. It's not going to help you though with this in a particular example. So let's try to see what a stem and leaf plot is. What is a stem and leaf plot? Well, first of all, it's going to look something like this. If I can kind of write it here. Okay, something sort of like that. Now, what will this be? So this will kind of look like a random key, but it will look something like this. So if I say this is a tens, okay, or sorry, let's do this. And I want to try to figure out what the best possible way to do this. Let's just say this is a key. So that means what this is, if this is 1, that's 0. That means what this data point is saying, it's saying that this is 10. So let's just say this is a key. So if I do this, if this is 1, this is 0, this actually equals 10. Does that make sense? So let's try to plot these all together. Okay? So if I have 36, this is 3, and then this will be 6. And then I can cross this one off. Does that make sense? Now this is 38. I already have a 3 here, so that means I need to do comma 8. So I can cross that one off. I hope that makes sense. Let's try to finish all the 30s here. Okay, so I have a 35 here, so I can do 5. I have another 36, so I can do 6. 32, so this is 2. Notice I'm just putting the ones digit here, not the tens digit, because I already have that there. And then I have 39 and 36. So I'm going to put 9 and 6. Solid. Let's do 40s. Now that's the 40. Now that's right in line. So this is 47. This is 41. So I'm going to put a 1 here. 42. I'm going to put 2. Hope you're kind of getting it. Oh, I missed a 40 here. So this is a 0. And then 8. So this is 48, and that's it. Now I do have a 27 here. I think that's a lone 27, so 20 and then 7. And then let's do 60s. So 60, and this will be 1. Any other 60s? 63, so this will be 3. And that's it. And I think, I had a 22 right here. Awesome. So I'm going to do 22. I think the rest are 50. So 53, 54. So this is 50. This is 4. This is 3, and then I have a regular 50 and another 53. So regular 50, so that's 0, and then another 53. So it asks us, that's my stem and leaf plot. That's what it looks like, okay? So it's really just this bulk right here. This is the stem and leaf plot right here. Now, it will ask us, the data represents the amount of hours employees of a certain company spend driving to and from work. What can you conclude about the data? Well, most people drive about 36, okay? So this is the amount of hours employees at a certain company spend driving to and from in a given month. So this means in the 30s, people on average spend about 30 plus hours, okay? About 36 or 38 hours, 36 to 38 hours, anywhere between 30 to 39 hours, really, okay? Because that's the most data here. So that's what we can conclude. And people also spend the least amount of data right here. Okay, they spend the least amount of data right here for 27, 22 hours. I hope that makes sense. So that's a stem and leaf plot. We're not going to spend too much time on that. It's a nice kind of plot. Now, dot plots, these are actually really, really fun, really, really nice to do, and they kind of look funny. So use a dot plot, the data that represents lifespans and days of 30 houseflies. Now, this is where this little blue thing on Math Excel will come in handy, right here. This is where it actually will come in handy. And the reason why that is because this thing right here, this thing will actually allow you to copy the data. If you click on that and copy the data, you can then transfer it to Desmos. And go ahead and click on this. if you're on the slides, because then it goes to this, okay? It goes to this right here. This is what all that data is that you copied. How do I do that? Well, really what I have to do is just, if you're on it, if you copied it, all you have to do is just hit like X and then equals, or let's just say X1 because that's a list. Notice how it says it's a 10 element list. But let's just say X1, then equals, bracket, and then you can paste it in there. Now, I already have an X1 in here. So if you already have X1, let's just label this X2. Or just get rid of this X1, just hit X. Or just get out of it, close out of it. And then now you can hit paste, and it will actually give you the full list. But I already have it here for you, and it's all of this. It's a 30 element list. So if I go back, it's 30 houseflies, right? If I counted this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 times 6 gives me 30 of these, okay? So 30 houseflies, they also tell us. And if I go, I don't need that anymore. If I go, again, back to Desmos, this is 30 elements. Now watch this. They want us to find a dot plot, right? If I go to Desmos, if I actually click or type in dot plot, and then whatever list I generated, because this is the list I generated, and I need to make sure I use brackets, okay? Then boom, this is what I get. Remember, this is a list. You should have learned it from Learn Statistics. If you have yet to do that Desmos activity, you won't really know what we're talking about. So go back to the first video, go through the Desmos activity, Learn Statistics, because that is actually due today, FYI. So click on that, and now you will see a dot plot. This is what it looks like. Now if you click on this plus button, boom, this is what I have. Okay? This is your dot plot. Pretty cool, right? So basically, it just spaces them out. I mean, it just spaces them out however many, and then kind of plots them however they need. Cool. And really, Math Excel, it's just going to ask you to ask a couple questions. It may ask you about this. What will it look like? But it'll also ask you a couple questions. So some of these questions will be, what's the lifespan here? Spans between 4 and 14 days with the most. Which one does the dot plot suggest? So the lifespan ranges from 4 to 14 days with the most lifespan between 10 to 14. So let's look. 4 to 14 days, yes, with the most lifespan between 10 to 14. Well, that's not true. The most lifespan is right here between 4 to 8. So it can't be this one. It can't be A. Lifespan ranged between 4 to 14, which is true, with most lifespans greater than 13 days. So let's go back, between 13 days. That's not true, because 13 days is right here, and the most is not between 13. It is between 4 to 14, yes, because that's between, our lowest was 4 and our highest was 14 here. So yes, 4 to 14, but definitely was not at 13. So when we go back, this cannot be it. With the most lifespan between less than 5 days. We go back. 5 days is right here. Less than 5 days is this way. So that can't be it. So if I go over here, can't be that. And then of course, from ranges between most lifespan from 5 to 9 days. So 5 right here is like right here, 5. And then 9 days is right here. Well, there's a lot of activity here. I have this one, and this one. So it definitely appears that this is the most activity. So that means D has to be the right answer. So you'll see something like that on Math Excel, those kinds of questions. I hope that helps. Okay, so use these notes to help you go through Math Excel. Awesome. Now let's go to 2.3. 2.3, measures of central tendency. All right, measures of central tendency, what are they? You actually already know what they are. You've done it many, many times, okay, especially in junior high. Measures of central tendency measure, who would have thought, okay, data based on how central the data is. Based on the how central, well, obviously, I don't need that. Based on how central the data is among other data sets. So there are mainly three, but there are others, but specifically there are three, and you already know them. First of all, the mean. The arithmetic average of the data. You already know how to do this. You add up all the data, then divide by the number of data. Okay? That's how you find the mean. The median. What's the median? The middle value of the ordered data. That's the most important part. The ordered data. Make sure it's ordered. And then mode is just the value with the greatest frequency or occurs most often. All of these, it's important to know, all of these do, in one sense, mean average. Okay? All these do mean average. They do. This is your formula for the mean. You don't need to write it down, though. Feel free to not write that down. You don't need it. All right. Let's get into some examples. All right. Measures of central tendency. Find the mean. How do I find the mean? Well, let's do it. First of all, I want to add them all up. 11 plus 13 plus 24 plus 9 plus 24 again plus 14 and then plus 10. And I want to divide by the number of numbers. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm divide by 7. What do I get? And I plug that into Desmos. I can do that straight up here if you want to. You can just plug it right here. Exactly how you see it on the screen right now, you can do on Desmos, and you could get the right answer. But the mean is 15. Okay? Perfect. Next one. This one's a little bit more complicated because it says find the value of x such that the data value, the data set, has a given mean. So it actually gives us the mean here, and we want to find one of the data sets, the data values. How do we do that? Well, using a formula like this right now, this equals our mean, right? But if we already have the mean, but let's just say we didn't have that, and that was x, isn't this a basic formula that we can do to solve it? Yeah, we have everything that we need to solve it. So let's do that. This is 100 plus 121 plus 103 plus 111 plus 110 plus x, because I don't know that. How many data values is this total? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, including x. So divided by 6. And this equals our mean of 120. Okay? Once I solve this, and how do I solve it? I just multiply by 6 to both sides. I multiply by 6, that goes poofy. And then now I just solve it like normal. I just basically multiply 120 times 6, and I can literally plug that into Desmos. 120 times 6, and then I can add 100, 120, 111, 103, 110, and so forth. Okay. I'm not going to go through the rest of the problem because for the sake of time, this is going to get pretty long. So go ahead and find that out yourself. I'm not going to go through that problem for you. So I'm going to erase now. All right. Let's find the median. First of all, in order to find the median, they need to be ordered. So this, of course, is not ordered. So that means I need to order it. So I have 33. And I usually, like I said, like crossing them off when I actually have used them. 37. There's 30 here. Forgot to put 30. There's 25 here. Oof, I'm a really bad orderer. And then this is 46 and then 50. Man, I'm awful. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 data sets. What's the median? Well, again, I like to cross them off. So that's, if I want to cross them off, I want to try to pinpoint the middle. So cross those off, cross this one off, and then right here you have these two. So that means these need to be found. They are both found to be the median, but I need to find the average of them, and that's my median. So what's the actual middle data set. So 33 plus 37 is going to be 70. Okay, 33 plus 37 is going to be 70 divided by 2. So when I divide that by 2, I get 35. So 35 is my actual middle data set there. Okay? Perfect. Let's continue. Find the mode. This is really easy. What's the one that occurs the most? Well, there's actually two of them here. 76, okay, and also 78. So again, I would have to find the average of them. So 78, and then, sorry, I don't need to find the average of them because it's just a mode. So really, you can have two modes, 78 and 76. So don't find the average for these, only find the average for median. But with the mode, if there's more than one mode, then they both occur at any given time, any given instance. So they both occur twice, so they're both your mode. All right, I'm going to erase this. Let's go on to measures of variation. This is 2.4, and this is the last section we're going to do today. So measures of variation. What are they? So measures of variation measure data based upon how much the data set is spread or varies from the mean. So there are three main measures of variation. Number one, the range, and you guys will mainly do this. That is really just the difference between the smallest and largest pieces of the given data. So really I have this formula here, which is nice. This formula is R, the range, equals your highest piece of data minus your lowest piece of data. Okay, so your highest minus your lowest. If you want to do R equals large minus small, that's also fine. But this is highest minus lowest. Okay, that's your range. You're going to be doing that a lot, actually. Now, variance, I'm going to put a star by this because we really don't ever calculate this by hand. It's really hard to calculate by hand. But what we do is actually work around it. So it is the measure of the spread of the data, of the mean. So if you find the mean, how far do your data pieces go from it? That's really what it asks. How far the data values are from the mean. How far it varies. And then standard deviation is really just the positive square root of the variance. Okay, and we will cover this a lot more when we get into actual statistics in about a month. Okay, but this is just the very basics of it, hence basic stats. Okay, and of course, standard deviation and variance can never be negative because if they're measuring distance, then how can they be negative? Distance can never be negative, and that's why they are always positive. So let's get into the last couple things here. This is population and standard deviation. We're almost done, so thank you for holding up tight with me. So population and samples. Population and samples. What is a population and what is a sample? Well, first of all, a population refers to a total set of observations that can be made. So let's just say Arizona is the population of Arizona. So what does that mean? That means a sample could be a particular city. Let's use this example. If we're studying the weight of males at MHP, the population is the set of weights of all the males that attend MHP. Okay? The population is the set of weights of all of the males that attend MHP. Now, sample, what's a sample? It's really just a subset. It's a smaller piece of the population. Look at my picture. If this is the population here, then a sample is just a select few of them. So, for example, if we were studying the weight of males at MHP, then the sample is the set of weights of all males in Mr. Carlson's class or Mrs. Lee's class. Okay, so if I wanted to find, how many juniors are in this class right now, you are a sample inside of my population for my class. Each individual class at MHP is technically a sample of the population of MHP. If you're a female or male, you are a sample of the population of the whole world, okay? And so really, this is something that we're going to continue going over and over and over again, but I just want to pinpoint this now because we can do some very basic measure of variation tests on it. And the reason that how we do it is using Desmos. And this is very, very important. So the number of regular season wins for 10 football teams in any given season are below, given below. Determine the range, the mean, the variance, and the standard deviation. Now, we already know how to do these by hand. The range, the highest, lowest, largest versus smallest. The mean, add them all up, divide by the number of numbers. But now here, the variance and the standard deviation, these are really complicated formulas that MathXL may tell you to actually do. They may actually tell you to go through the formulas. And you're going to look them straight up in the eye and say, no, I have Mr. Carlson who teaches us way easier ways, and it's called Desmos. So pay very close attention here. First of all, your range is actually very simple. You can do it right now. You find the highest value and then the lowest value. The highest value is 15. The lowest value is 2. So what's the range? Well, it is 15 minus 2, which then becomes just 13. That is your range. Okay? Your population mean. What does it mean to population mean? Well, this is the whole data set for the whole thing. So that means, really, you're just going to add them up and divide by the number of numbers. But here, after I write all this stuff down, it's going to be really tedious. Actually, I'm not going to finish it because it's boring. If you want to do this and divide by what? Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 numbers. I mean, that's a long process. Watch what you could do instead. See this blue little thing here? You could click on that when you're on MathXL. Don't click on it now because it won't do anything. But when you're on MathXL, you can click on it, and it will actually copy the list for you. You can then go to Desmos. Now watch. You can go to Desmos and paste this list. Notice what I did here already. I pasted this list. It's 10 elements. Now watch what I could do. I could literally just type in mean of x1. Tells me my mean. That's my mean. So now I can go over here and be like, oh, I don't want to do this all by hand. I can just use Desmos and do 8.1. That's my mean. It's that simple. Isn't that great? It's that simple. All you have to do is just copy the list from MathXL, paste it in here, making it look almost exactly like that, and then just type in mean, parentheses, x1. Boom, you got it. That simple. All right. Now, when it's asking for these other things, population variance and population standard deviation, again, it's probably going to tell you to do this whole long formula. Don't do that. Don't do that whole long formula. There's two ways to do it. The formula and then the easy way, Desmos. So I'm going to show you the easy way here. So first of all, you type in VAR. Okay, VAR, and then you make sure you add a P to it. Okay, VAR, and then you make sure you add your P to it. All right? That will give you what's called a variation or variance of the population. And then you just put your list in there, and then boom, you got your answer, 19.69. And round to the hundredth place, which is already rounded, so that's perfect. Population standard deviation, literally the exact same thing. STDEV, type that in, and then P, just type in P, and then X1. Just literally how you see it, guys. Make sure the list is the same, though, and then this is your standard deviation of the population. It rounds to about 4.44. So they want you to round it to the nearest tenth, so just 4.4. And that is your standard deviation. See how that's cool? Now, if you want to find the standard deviation of the if you want to find the standard deviation of the sample, all you have to do is just erase that P. Now, notice how they're different. If I do the population, it's a little bit smaller, but if I do the sample, it's a little bit bigger. And we'll touch on that. We'll actually deal with all of that in about a month. But again, this is just basic stats, guys. I'm trying to get you understanding the basics of Desmos, the basics of stats. So use that, use Desmos because it's amazing. And hopefully you guys have lasted this long with me, and so you can actually know how to do basic stats. I really want you guys to watch this video. But again, if you have yet to finish the Learn Statistics Desmos activity from the previous video, then go on that previous video, look at that, make sure you complete that Desmos activity. It is worth a grade. It's due literally today. So if you don't complete it by 4 p.m., I will mark it late or missing. That's not okay. Okay, it will be 0. What did we learn here? Okay, so we learned a lot of things. So find the frequency and cumulative frequency. We understood stem and leaf plots and dot plots. We looked at measures of central tendencies. And we also looked at measures of variation. Learned a lot. Make sure you use this summary on your notes. There's so much other stuff that I could talk about, but here's just your pretest. I'm not going to have a video for your pretest. So on the suggested template, I have take the pretest on Tuesday, but today's technically Monday if you're watching the video. Go ahead and just take the pretest either today or tomorrow. On the suggested template up here, and you guys will already see this, I have Tuesday, 8-4 to be the pretest. But we just finished this lesson. Your homework is Math Excel Orientation, and this is 2.1 through 4 basic stats on Math Excel, along with your orientation and login. Don't forget your login on Google Classroom. Okay? So I'm going to just allow you guys to take the pretest whenever. Feel free to take the pretest now, though. It is 90 minutes long, 25 questions. Try your best. Some of them you probably can't actually answer, but try your very best. Once you're done with that, I can grade it, and then you can do the orientation. Make sure you fill out your syllabus acknowledgement form, and then make sure you do other Math Excel homework or lessons for the week. Again, if you're interested in honors, make sure your parent or guardian emails me and tells me such. Since you don't have a homework quiz, that's great. These are all the homeworks that you need to do. I already kind of explained it, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I hope it wasn't too bad for you. If you have any questions, feel free to email me anytime, and I will answer it almost as soon as possible. But until next time, bye for now. Make good choices.